Guys, in our previous videos, we saw what Django is, we installed it, and then we deep dived into how HTML, CSS, and JavaScript work together with Django, and then we looked into the folder structure of Django application. In this video, I'll explain you the basic difference between an app and a project and how URLs work in Django. So what I'll do is I'll go to the whiteboard to explain this concept to you, and we'll take things from there. So as you can see that I have this whiteboard to explain you. What I'll do is I'll give you an example of a Django project. Let us say you want to create a social networking website like Facebook. So let us say your Django project name is project, and let us say your Django project is called Facebook, and this is a social networking application. So you might have to give your users some sort of APIs, and you might like to have a website called dev.facebook.com. I'm just writing this in short. Another website that you might be interested in might look like something called blog.facebook.com, and blog.facebook.com will be a place where you will give your users some sort of announcements like we have integrated API with our Android application, or any sort of news that you want to give your users. This will be the place that you will intimate your users regarding the announcements, the updates, the known issues, and all sort of things. And your facebook.com will be the fp.com will be the main application page where most of your users will spend most of the times. Main app page. Now, why am I telling you all this? I'm telling you all this to explain the difference between Django application and Django project. So Django project is a collection of all these things. It contains the main app, it contains the developer app, it contains the blog app. Let us say tomorrow you want to add some sort of functionalities where you want to allow people to sell certain things. In that case, you might want to have something called shop.facebook.com. Whenever you have combination of all these things, you don't want to put all the code associated with facebook.com's main page, or dev.facebook.com's main page, or blog's main page, or shop's main page at one place. You want to separate the concerns, and you want to keep all four of these separately. And this is achieved using apps in Django. So I might say this is app 1, and I might say this is app 2, this is app 3, and this is app 4, and we might have 4 maintainers of these 4 apps. If we do that, all 4 of those maintainers can take care of their respective apps, and the maintenance will be amazing. So this is how Django project is structured. So the main Django project's name is Facebook, but this contains the settings for Facebook, the settings.py file that I showed you, and all these apps. So all this entirely will be called Django project. Let me do this. So all these apps plus configuration is equal to, let us call it Django project. So project contains the basic configuration that drives all the apps and drives the entire project, and Django app is an entity which does something. For example, it can have some functionalities where people can send messages to their friends and peers, and it might have some functionalities where people can come and use the APIs. It might be a website where people can come and comment on the blog posts from various developers at Facebook or various leaders at Facebook, and it might be a place where people come to shop for products. So it might be a shopping store. So these are the 4 apps. We might have even more apps. A project can have multiple apps. So this is how a Django project and Django app works. But this is just a theory. I now want to go to the Visual Studio Code, show you some code, and create a few apps so that you can see all these things into action. So let's go to Visual Studio Code, and there we'll see how all these things work. Alright guys, so this is the project that I created in the last couple videos, and now I'll show you how to create a Django app. So in order to create a Django app, you can simply run python manage.py, and then you can say start app, and then you can write down the name of the app. But before I create an app, I just want to show you this directory that I created. In fact, it was created by Django. I just fired a command and all these things were automatically created by Django. Just ignore this VS Code because this is a folder which is automatically generated by my source code editor, which is Visual Studio Code. And if you are using Atom or Brackets or some other source code editor, then you will not see this folder. Now what I'll do is I'll use this manage.py command line utility. Remember from our previous videos, we know that manage.py is a command line utility. It is the entry point for us to tell Django that do this thing. So I'm going to be telling manage.py, hey manage.py, please create an app for me. We just saw that the project just contains the configuration and it does nothing. It is actually the app which does something. So in order to create an app, what I'll do is I'll fire this command. I'll say python manage.py start app. But what should be the name of my app? You can choose any name you want. But if you are a beginner and you want to have some good name, I would say you can call it home. I usually name my apps as home. Once you press enter key, you will find a folder called home generated. So this is a newly generated folder that is generated by python manage.py create app. Sorry, start app. It was start app. So you might get confused with all these commands. So what I'll do at the end of this course, I'll give you a cheat sheet of all these commands so that you have all these commands at a single place. Now we created a home app. We might create another app called blog. We might create another app called shop. But for now, I'll just create this home app. One app for a basic website is just enough. If you are creating a static website with few database operations, I would say just stick to one app, one single app. But if you want to have some sort of complex project, you can go with multiple apps. In the future videos, I'll show you how to decide upon what to keep in which app. Just a moment ago, I showed you an example wherein we had Facebook's main page, we had Facebook's blog website, we had Facebook's shop website, and we separated the concerns into different apps. But for now, what we'll do is we'll learn what is inside the folder that is generated by this start app home. Is it same as PWH tutorials, that is the Django project? No, by no means it's going to be same. It'll be different. I'll show you. So if you open this home, you'll see init.py, which tells that home is actually a Python project. It has some sort of migrations, and then it has admin.py, apps.py, models.py, test.py, views.py. We'll discuss about all these files. I am going to directly jump into urls.py of PWH tutorials. You'll say, wait a minute, why are you going back to urls.py of PWH tutorials? That's because this is the place where Django starts the URL parsing. So if you enter facebook.com/about, your Django project will look into this urls.py. The urls.py under PWH tutorials, which is your Django project. So what Django will do, it will say, okay, let me look into urls.py and let me see if any URL pattern is matching. Now this might get confusing for you, so let me explain it once again. urls.py is the entry point. So let us say you have a website called facebook.com. What your Django will do is it will say, okay, let me look into something called about, or something called messages, or something called /contact, whatever you have entered in your browser. And if it matches to something here, then it will say, okay, let me redirect you to the corresponding view, or let me redirect you to the corresponding HTML. I'll show you how all this works. So without knowing anything, what I want you to do is just copy this path and paste it over here as it is. And you need to import include as well. So you say from django.urls import path, include. What is include? What is path? Don't worry about that for now. Just copy this piece of code that I wrote here. Now instead of blog, we have home. So we'll simply say home. So this is the folder that it will look into. So we are saying whenever somebody types in home / you have to go to the homes urls.py. You have to go to homes urls.py. Now before this creates a lot of confusion, let me explain it very clearly to you that this part can be anything. For now I have kept it home, but I might call it Harry as well. What does this mean? Let me show you. I'll save this file, and after saving this file, I'll open a terminal. I'll say Python manage.py run server. And once I do that, it is saying that there is no URLs in your home. Where is your urls.py? I don't see it in home. So we'll have to create a urls.py inside all the apps that we create. This might sound very confusing for now, but all I want you to do is have some patience, follow along, and you'll come to know what to do next. So what I'll do is I'll say create a new file called urls.py. And inside this urls.py, I want you to copy this. They have given you the cheat sheet actually. They have given you everything here. They have given you the links. So you don't have to worry about anything. They are saying that, okay, you just copy all this and paste it. But instead of copying this URL patterns, what I'll do is I'll redirect the paths to corresponding views. So what I'll do is I'll tell Django, whenever somebody types Harry / you just have to forget everything and you have to move to home.urls. It'll say, okay, after Harry, I need to go to this file, which is home.urls, urls.py inside the home folder. Now what I'll do here is I'll say, okay, whenever somebody comes here and he has a path of say boy, boy, you have to redirect that person to some view. Now what is this view? For now, consider view as a Python file which will serve some HTML, which will serve some sort of HTML or text. So what I'll do is I'll say, okay, whenever somebody types in Harry / boy, what you have to do is you have to send that person to a view. Now I'm defining a view. A view is something that a person sees. So for now, if you open this views.py file, it says create your views here. What I'll do is I'll create a function and I'll say request, and you just have to copy paste for now. I don't want you to understand all this, and just say return, and we need to import HTTP response. You might think, what is HTTP response? I don't know what is render. You don't have to know for now. I just want you to create a basic website. This is the data. Just write this. This is the data, and save this file. So we have a home function inside our views.py. Now whenever somebody types in /Harry / boy, which is here, I want him to be redirected to home function of views. So I'll say from home dot views, or from home import views. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll say whenever somebody comes to boy, you have to redirect him to the home function. So I'll say views.home. So as you can see here, they have provided an example as well. They are saying that you can just type path home.asView, or since we are not using class-based view, we are using function views. So we need to copy this one. So you can directly copy this one and paste it here. But instead of blank, I want to type boy here. And if I save this and I start my server, I'll not see the error that I was seeing before. My server has been started. I'll control click. And once I control click, it is opened here. Now what it is telling me is he's saying that, hey, listen to me, you don't have anything in the blank slash. You need to type something that matches the URL patterns. So whenever I type 127.0.0.1:8000, what it is trying to do is it is trying to find a blank URL. What I mean by blank URL is it will pass this URL and it will take all the content. For instance, if I write /boy, it will say, okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking this boy and I'm trying to match it with the urls.py file inside your PWH tutorials, which is the project folder. This is the folder which had settings.py. All of your app folders will not have settings.py. So this is the most important project folder. In fact, this is the only project folder, and this folder contains a file called settings.py, which contains the project settings. Now what I want you to do is I want you to see that this is boy, but it doesn't matches anything here. So what I'll do is I'll type Harry instead of boy. And when I type Harry, it's saying that current path Harry didn't match any of these. So what I'll do is I'm saying that, okay, let me remove the slash. If I reload, it's saying, okay, so Harry matches, but when I go to home.urls, the blank path didn't match. You need to add something more. So I say, okay, let me add /boy. As you can see that Django is telling me that you don't have a slash here. So what I'll do is I'll add a slash here. Once I add a slash here, I'll be redirected to Harry/boy, and once again I'll be redirected to views.home, which is this function, and I'll see this is the data on my screen, as you can see here. Now how does this happen? How does this work? This works like this. So if I have PWH tutorials file here, what Django will do is whenever I type something, let us say I type something like this 127.0.0.1:8000. This is my domain. In production, your domain will look something like facebook.com or google.com or codewithharry.com, programmingwithharry.com, something like this. In your development mode, your URL looks something like this 127.0.0.1:8000. So just consider this 127.0.0.1:8000 as some of your domain that you have purchased. Now 127.0.0.1/Harry/this will throw an error. Why will this throw an error? To start with, Django will look for your project folder. It will say, where is your project folder? Give me the project folder. It will say, okay, PWH tutorials is your project folder. Let me look into the urls.py file of this project folder, because this is the entry point where it checks for the URLs. Once it comes to this entry point, it will say, okay, so you have this urls.py here. Let me see if Harry matches something. Okay, Harry matches this. What is it telling me to do? Okay, it's telling me to include home.urls. It will check whether there is something called home.urls or not. It will say, where is your home folder? Let me check for home.urls. Okay, home has a URLs. Let me open this file. It will say, what is the next thing in the urls.py? It will say, okay, it is this. Is something matching this here? No, it is not. So it will say errors. I'm sorry, nothing matches. So if I type this, it will say no, nothing matches. I tried to match, but I'm very sorry, I was not able to match. It's all your fault. But at the same time, if I type boy, it will say, okay, after Harry, the boy matches this. Let me create a comment so that you can later refer to this comment. So it will say, okay, so /Harry/this and /Harry/boy, out of both of these, /Harry/boy matches this path. It matches, finally matches, and went to a view. Now this views.home function will be executed. And once this function is executed, it returns an HTTP response. What is an HTTP response? HTTP response is a class in Django whose output is a view. And what is a view? A view is something that your user sees. So this is a view which simply contains this plain text. It says that just print this. This is the data on the screen. That's about it. Now you might as well have some sort of HTML here. I might put something like this, HTML, head, title, body, and all sort of those things. But there's an efficient way of adding these HTML pages, and it's called template. And Django has a very amazing templating engine, and we'll see that into action very soon. But for now, what I'll do is I'll simply say, oops, this is a view which is created by Harry. Okay. This is a boy view. Let me call it, this is a boy view which is created by Harry. And as you can see that my server has been restarted. And once I reload this, I see this is a boy view which is created by Harry. Now let us say somebody comes to my website and he, instead of entering boy, he enters knowledge, or let me use some simple word. He calls it paths. And I'll also have to create a function, paths, and I'll name it paths. Name is just a friendly name for this view, so you can call it anything. It has to be a string and you can simply call it anything. I'm calling it paths just to keep things consistent. Just like I created my home view, I'll also create my paths view. So I'll simply say home, and then I'll say path, and I'll simply say this is a boy view, this is a path view. And if somebody comes to my website and he types /Harry/path, it didn't work. Why? Okay, so I think I have some problem. I didn't name it properly. It was paths here and path here, so I need to keep it consistent. So if I call it paths, I'll see this is a path view which is created by Harry. So I can have as many views as possible and I can have as many apps as possible. Once again, I'll tell you, when you enter a URL into your browser, your Django application will parse it. It will see whether the first component of your URL is matching any URL patterns or not. If it matches, it will say, okay, Harry matches. Let me further go to home.urls. It will go to home.urls. It will say, okay, let me see what is the next component of your URL string. Okay, it is this. Let me see if something matches. It will say, I'm sorry, nothing matches. So you need to see this error. Here's your error. So if I enter some gibberish here, I'll see this. It will tell me that here's your error. This did not match. SDF is not defined in your URL conf. So I see this error because this was not matched. And if at all it matches, it invokes a view function. Once it invokes a view function, I'll see an HTTP response. An HTTP response is nothing but the view that I see. We'll see in the later videos how this HTTP response can be rendered as HTML templates and how we can do processing dynamically. We'll also see how we can generate these URLs and handle requests like /translate/this is me. Let us say you want to create a service like Google Translate and you want to translate a given sentence into some other language. In that case, you want your URL to take any input and give an output corresponding to that input. So in that case, your URL string has to be dynamic. We'll see how to create these sort of dynamic URLs in the future. But for now, I want you to understand that whenever you type something in your browser, your Django application will look into the request, which is this URL, and it will parse it, and PWS tutorials, which is my Django project, will be the first folder, and more specifically urls.py inside this PWS tutorials will be the first file that this Django will look into for matching the URLs. It will say, okay, /Harry, let me see if it matches something. Oh yes, it matches /Harry. Let me see if it matches something in home.urls or not. It will go to home.urls. It will say, okay, so your /Harry/this does not match anything, so here's your error. But in the case of /Harry/boy, it will say, let me see if there is something called boy here. Yes, it is. It will say go to views.home and execute that function. Whatever that function is telling to do, just do it. So it will do whatever this function is telling to do. So this is how URL patterns in Django works. For now, let's keep things simple. Let's see how we can simply create static URLs in Django. I don't want to deep dive into this stuff which I told. I just wanted you to know that this kind of stuff is also possible. So if you want to generate URLs dynamically, that is also possible. We can have string URLs, we can have some number in the URLs, and we can do the calculation accordingly. Let us say you have an API which accepts an integer /display/user, and let us say /his roll number or his employee ID, whatever the case may be, 98, 99, 100, whatever number you want to put in, and you want your view function to process that number and pull out something from the database. You might want to do that. We'll see how all those things work as well. But for now, let us stick to this URL patterns concept, and in the future videos, we'll see how we can create a static website and how we can use these URL patterns, and we'll also learn the concept of model, views, and templates, which is called MVT architecture in Django. So what I want you to do at this point in time is access this playlist if you haven't already. This is the course playlist. This is going to be the place where I'm uploading all the videos. So you can bookmark this playlist, you can save this, and if you like these videos, I want you to give these videos a thumbs up. That way I get a confidence that you guys are liking these videos, and I'll keep on pushing content like this very frequently. So for now, that's it. Thank you so much guys for watching this video, and I will see you next time.